take questions about the upcoming games. Go ahead, Coach.
No, we're really excited about the addition of Eric Parrish. He, you know, he's a proven Division I player at Akron, and is off to a really good start at Bossier City Parish with his junior college. And you know, the thing with Eric is he fits who we are. Multi-positional player, can play the 2, the 3. If we want to play small ball, he can play the 4. He's an excellent passer. And a very good defensive rebounder, and you know, the area that we hope that he continues to improve on is his 3-point percentage and his 3-point accuracy, and certainly that'll be something in the summer that we really dive into. But again, another guy 6'6", 6'7", who can play multiple positions.
Take any questions on Eric or the upcoming games?
How would you describe the type of player? If you say, what kind of player do you recruit? How would you describe that?
I mean, we want guys that can play multiple positions. Those are the guys that have been the most successful, and obviously, you know, with Caleb and Cody, 2 guys that can play the 1, 2, the 3. It's really important that we find a guy that fits in, and you know, we really didn't want an unknown. And Eric, because he is proven at the Division I level, we feel really comfortable that he can come in and make a really big impact for us next year, along with you know, guys that are sitting out like Jalen Harris. And so we just felt like, you know, we want to play small at times. We want to play big with bigger guards. He allows us to have that flexibility.
How did you first hear about him, or you know, kind of see his film?
Yeah, just, you know, with all the guys that hit the transfer market, we just kind of monitored and looked at him and watched a lot of film, called a lot of schools in their conference, called the Akron staff, and you know, the more we watched him, you know, the more comfortable. And then some of the assistant coaches went and saw him in Louisiana at the junior college that he's at now, and got an opportunity to see him in live competition when he played in Dallas, as well as watch him practice with his current junior college team.
I mean, you guys have 5 more scholarships to give up if you want to, maybe 6 if Lindsey plays this year. I guess what are you looking for the remainder of this class as you fill it out?
Not to make a mistake. You know, the time spent as an assistant coach, when I looked at the programs that I was with, and you know, the 13 scholarships are really valuable, and programs and teams that make a mistake in recruiting, it's really hard to get your way out of that. And you know, I thought in our first 3 years we did not make a mistake. I mean, every guy we've recruited has had a huge impact, and so we're being really cautious with our scholarships. We talked to a lot of guys that we probably could have gotten that would have looked good on paper potentially with the number of stars next to their name and stuff, but we just want to make sure that we get the guy that the players that can fit into our culture and help us win at the level that we've been winning at. And therefore, we're not going to offer a scholarship or have a guy, you know, come join unless we feel really comfortable that he can contribute.
You've kind of gone with like the 2 prep guys, 2 transfer guy model. Do you still like that, or I guess you know, where do you?
No, we'll probably have more. We'll probably have a lot more transfers. However many you said we had, there'll probably be a bulk of them will be transfers, because there's just less unknown, and you know, I've said it 100 times. The college basketball landscape has changed. It's the days of everybody recruiting high school play. It's not that way. There's going to be over 800 transfers again, and you know, that's just you know, complexion of how you develop a roster is a little bit different than it was 10, 15 years ago.
And the proof's in the pudding. I mean, you guys have done great with that model. I mean, are people skeptical of it? I mean,
I don't think so. I mean, I talked to Coach Bill Self about it last summer, and you know, Kansas gets a pick of the litter with high school players, and look at their roster at Kansas. They got a lot of transfers, and you know, we just want to make sure that the guys we recruit fit who we are and fit our system and can play and help you win.
The returning group with, I mean, Jazz, maybe Lindsey, Nisray, Eric is more or less a guard. I mean, are you looking more in the front court, or is it just you're going to take the best guys you can get?
Yeah, I think that the style of play that we want to play is a bunch of 6'6" guys. I mean, I feel more comfortable with that than true back to your basket type players, and even Cam Oliver kind of played like a small forward. So we want guys who can pass, dribble, and shoot, and so that's we're not really worried about size, so to speak, because we've done a really good job fronting the post, and Jalen Harris is. You walk over to our practice today, he's as athletic as anyone we have in the gym, maybe more athletic than anybody on our roster, and can score the ball and create a shot as well as anybody we have in the gym. So, with Eric Parrish and Jalen Harris and Jazz and Niz, I mean, we feel like we got a good group coming back in a year from now.
Trayshawn was pointed out how unique it is to have 4 straight games at home to start a season, and you told us after Pacific that this first 4-game stretch is important to kind of start this journey. How much are you emphasizing with them that you don't get this every year?
Yeah, I mean, in the past, we've gone out on the road early, and with the way we're drawing, it makes sense to have home games because obviously when you're drawing 10,000 plus, it makes sense to play home games, and we're 2 games in, but we got a really talented Arkansas Little Rock team that's coming in 2-0, and they play a really difficult style. They play really free, loose, shoot a lot of threes, high volume free throw attempt team. They create a lot of steals, and they cherry pick and leak out as well as any team I've seen in the 3 years that I've been here.
Coach, given the 2 good results, especially great second half that you're coming off of, do you sometimes find yourself wishing these games were a little bit closer together, or is that needed practice time when you get a week-long gap? Yeah,
I mean, I just think that with school and classes and the way schedules go, that we have a week, but it's allowed our guys to focus academically, and we've done a lot of administration things. We've there's stuff that you got to that you have to do that's not just basketball that we've been able to do this week, but no, the practice time's good this time of year, and then after Monday, I mean we hit the road, and we have a really we're playing tough teams that are coming at you really, really quickly. So it's just kind of the makeup of the schedule. I think every program in every sport, you got a little bit of a break here and there, and this was kind of a little bit of a break for us.
What's your favorite thing about coaching Trayshawn and what he brings to the team?
I think the big thing with Trey is he's just all about winning. Like you're not around players very often that whether you start them, whether he doesn't care how many shots he takes, he just wants to win. And I think it's just how he's the makeup of he's transfer who's put up good numbers at Omaha, and now he's just trying to figure out how do you win and be a part of something special.
How rare is it to have a player like that, just on your roster?
I think it's rare because he's a senior. He's a senior. It's his last year. You'd think sometimes those guys are thinking it's my last go round, and how do I put up numbers But he's really been the kind of the underlying key to us right now because we're putting him on the best front court player to defend. I think he's 3 of 4 from three-point land. He's not taking any bad three-point shots. It's with his feet set. He's a really good passer. He's one of those guys that at that 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", can do a lot of different things and has versatility to play with his back to the basket as well as face up from three-point land.
Has anything that you've seen from him surprised you from what you thought you were getting when you recruited him and saw him on film?
Yeah, when he was in Costa Rica, we didn't know what he was going to do. He was breaking plays and taking bad shots, and he's got high basketball IQ, and he's playing within himself, and he's making other guys around him better, which is kind of unusual for someone who plays that power forward spot. Usually it's the guards that are making people better, but he's really good in dribble handoffs and dribble at back doors and things like that.
What happened since Costa Rica to now then?
I guess there's a whole year of hearing us get after him.
Any more questions for Coach? Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, we're excited about our 3 new additions to our team today. We thought going into this class, we really needed to just continue to add depth at pretty much every position, and I was really happy with the 3 players that we're signing. They're all high school seniors, and they're very versatile. We have a true point guard from Oklahoma, Janae Williams. She's just really skilled, and she makes people around her better. She's a really good shooter, really smart, and she loves basketball. I mean, she's a gym rat, and she watches games all the time, and so we want to recruit players that love basketball and want to be in the gym. Allie Jimenez from Colorado, her sister actually plays at Portland State, and she was freshman of the year in their conference last year, so kind of a basketball family. She's gotten better every year. She's a little bit taller than her sisters, and she gives us some more size on the perimeter. Really good three-point shooter. She can play the 1, 2, or 3, and we like that she's a versatile player that can play multiple positions. And then Dominique Phillips from Arizona, she actually played in the same club program as Amaya West on our team, and I've known her since I think she was in the 7th grade when I was at Arizona State, and she used to come to all of our camps. So I've known her and her family a really long time, and she can really play the 2 through the 4, and she's really skilled. She can post up, she can shoot the 3, she can handle the ball, and she's just really competitive, and I think all 3 of them really just want to win. And so that was something important that we were looking for, is just people from winning programs that wanted to come in and just help continue to elevate our program.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, Arizona, Colorado, Oklahoma, is that unexpected, or is that something we can expect? This range of geography, can we expect that in the future?
Well, we definitely want to, stay within our region. We like the Pacific Northwest, the West Coast, and then, kind of like the Southwest. But going to Oklahoma, it's one of those things, you like a player and you call and you just never know. And her and her mom flew out right away and visited us and really established that relationship early. So you just never know. So we call in kids and just see, and, we'll recruit them hard until they tell us no. And so that region was a little bit different for us, but we'll continue to keep going there. We want to get into Texas and continue, to go as far east as we can.
How would you characterize the type of players that you're looking for day to day?
I think, we're very similar to what Muss just said. We want versatile players that can play multiple positions. We're a fan of bigs that aren't true just back to the basket players. We like them to be able to shoot the 3, and they really have to be able to run and be able to guard on the perimeter. And then we just want competitive players, people that want to win. And, it's not about them. It's how do they help the team and how do they help build our program and what can they do to help our team win on a day-in, day-out basis. And, what he's saying is so true. He's talking about transfers and different things, and once they get here, they just want to win. And so for us, identifying high school players that come from a culture of winning, come from a culture of excellence, what kind of families do they come from? We want them to just understand kind of what we value in our program and make sure they kind of value the same things. Otherwise, it's just not really going to work.
After the season you guys had last year, has the reaction from recruits been differently just because of what you guys were able to accomplish?
Yeah, I think people are more excited, and they look at what the possibilities are here now. Going in recruiting last year's class, it was like, okay, we haven't had a strong, consistent tradition of winning. We've had some good seasons here and there, but how do we put it together and make multiple seasons where you're playing in the postseason? And I think them seeing what we were able to accomplish in our first year with players that the previous staff had recruited, I think it just showed as a coaching staff we were able to get that team to its best spot. And so now just recruiting players that kind of fit the system that we're trying to play moving forward. I think they really, believe in us. And moving forward, this first class we had, they had to buy into our vision. And now, classes are buying into, what we've been able to do. So it is a little bit different with that.
Including these 3 players here, what do you sell when you send your coaches on the road or you go on the road?
Yeah.
What's the vision, or what are you telling these recruits?
Well, I think we have all of the things that we need to build a championship program. We have amazing facilities, we have amazing people, and we have amazing academics here at the university. And then you have an amazing community that really rallies around the university. The university is the focal point of Northern Nevada, and I think it's so cool that anywhere we go in the community, people know how our team did. Whether or not they came to the game, they read the newspaper, they read online, they listened to the radio, they watched the news, and I think that it's really cool that people care so much about the university. And so for players, they get to come here and kind of be a little bit of a local celebrity, and they also in this position have an amazing platform where they can impact and inspire people in our community to do amazing things. So I think we have a lot to offer.
So obviously the first of 2 signing periods, do you expect more? I guess we're going to get that scholarship.
Yeah, we will probably. Yes, we'll be adding some more players this spring. For us coaches, we don't have a sophomore class. So we really we're going to look hard at the transfer market, JUCOs and 4 years, and we want to bring in some people that have played college basketball, because next year we'll have 5 sophomores and 3 freshmen on our roster, and we need some experience. You know, we will only return Michaela and Kamaria, so we have several more scholarships to give, and we'd love to get some experience to mix in with, you know, the newness that we have.
Any positions in particular?
We definitely need to get some more posts. You know, that's kind of a focal point, but we'd also love another backcourt combo guard that can defend and push the ball and just brings like kind of a sense of toughness. You know, we're recruiting some kids that really fit that mold, and we will continue to evaluate them and build our relationships with them and make sure they're a good fit. And like Mus said, the biggest thing is you don't want to make mistakes. You know, you want to bring in players that are going to add value and fit your culture and not take away from anything that you've working hard to get established.
As far as this year goes, what are you working on this week with a few days before your next contest?
Just getting better. You know, I think we got better from our first game to our second game, but just with a young team, everything is, we're learning. We're just learning so much. We're learning how to win. We're learning how to compete day in, day out at a championship level. We're really working on being consistent. We're just, you know, we're inconsistently consistent right now, unfortunately, and we're just trying to get them to do all the things that will put us in a position to win. It's not about making shots. It's about effort. It's about how you respond when things don't go your way, and we're working on developing that identity as a team. And you know, something we were so proud of last year was we were all those things. We were tough, we were resilient, but we weren't all year. You know, it took some time to develop that, and you know, we will keep working with our team to do that. And I think once we can do that, we can be pretty good. It's a matter of how quickly can we learn to be that way.
Coach Musselman described men's basketball as changing into a transfer market from what he's seen. In your experience, is the women's game going to a transfer market?
It is. It's every year there's more and more transfers. They now have a transfer portal, so it's actually a little bit easier to transfer now. You just submit your name and you go on this website pretty quickly, and the school doesn't have to release you any longer. So you can't really limit where players go. In the past, you could say, yeah, we'll release you, but you can't go to X, Y, and Z. And now it's just a different rule. And yeah, I think you'll see more and more players leaving because it's a little bit easier to do so.
Hypothetically, do you think that benefits, let's say, a younger coaching staff, like a newer coaching staff like yourself, where you're trying to establish a name?
Yeah.
And maybe does that benefit you? Easier transfers?
I think so. I mean, just having more players to readily choose from and things like that. We were in on a lot of transfers last spring, and for whatever reason or another, we didn't end up signing them here. We only signed one, but we recruited several of them, trying to add some experience to our team. And I just really agree with Mus. Like, if it's not a good fit, you don't take them, you know, or if you're not a good fit, they don't choose you. So it worked out the way it was supposed to, but I think in the future we're going to, you know, go that route as well.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you.
Thank you.
Head softball coach Josh Taylor.
Thanks for being here, guys. I want to just kind of talk about a few of our recruits that we had signed. We have 3 national letter of intents in, 2 pitchers. Class includes 2 pitchers, 1 catcher right now. We do have 2 more we're waiting for to come in. We'll be able to talk about those later date. We'll talk about the 3 that we have right now. We have a right-hander pitcher from Yuba City, California, named Blake Kraft. 6-foot right-hander, throws hard, good velocity, moves the ball well. Plays on a high-level travel ball team, the Sorcerers Gold team, which plays against some of the best competition in the nation. We're really excited about her. She's an extraordinary kid, great GPA, hard worker, competitor. She's thrown a lot of no-hitters in high school. Second pitcher we have is Jana Pope. She's out of Chowchilla, small town called Chowchilla, California, which is just north of Fresno. Left-handed pitcher. Great break on her ball, curveball, run a ball away from lefties. We're excited about her upside as well. Long arms, tall kid, can really move the ball. We're really pumped up about adding 2 pitchers to our lineup with us losing 2 at the end of the season. The catcher we have coming in is a local product out of Minogue High School. Her name's Haley Merlino. Really big, strong kid. Power arm from behind the plate, somebody that can throw out runners, moves extremely well for her size and her strength. We're excited to add Haley to our roster. Bishop Minogue product, keeping the locals home.
Any questions for Coach?
How have you noticed the recent success of your program affect you in recruiting?
It definitely helps. I mean, we've had some success. Obviously, we want to take it to the next level when it comes to, we've been in the NSIC postseason tournament the last 2 years. We obviously want to take that to the NCAA level. We do return 3 out of our 5 all-conference nominees from last season, which is exciting, and they're only juniors. Our freshman class from last year has had a year to mature. We've added some freshmen who are having a really good fall that came in. One from Hawaii, Dallas Millwood's really done well this fall for us. And then returning Kenzie Goins and Jessica Sellers, Julia Jensen, Callie Sargent, as well as Alyssa Mendez, Sierra Mello, Haley Berta. We have a good blend on our roster of upperclassmen and lowerclassmen. This freshman class coming in is definitely an extension of what they've accomplished over the last few years and my first 2 years as far as making the postseason in my first 2 years. But it's definitely an exciting time right now, and we feel real good about where we're at and where we're headed.
How would you characterize the type of player that you like to bring to Reno?
Tough, blue collar, hardworking, coachable. If I could just do some bullet points on that, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for kids that understand mental toughness, understand what, a lot of people say the game's 80% mental. We teach them why. Good student as well, somebody that, the lower maintenance type kid that's just going to grind, get after it, put in their own time, as well as, we also blend our lineup between speed and power and, how they work their gloves, defensive footwork, those types of things on how we evaluate and recruit. So it's a lot of different things that we look for, but the first thing is toughness as far as blue collar, Nevada. We're going to play in the rain and cold, and it doesn't matter to us. If it bothers you, then you're going to come up on the short side at the end of the game.
Adding 2 pitchers, is that kind of the last step for you guys, is to get that kind of star pitcher to complement the kind of offense you guys have been able to put together the last couple of years?
Absolutely. Our offense has been powerful the last few years. Last year we were ranked in the top 20 in a lot of offensive categories. Finding the pitching to be able to shut teams down. So, offense sometimes comes and goes from day to day depending on who we're facing. And so being able to win a 2-1 game or a 4-2 game is definitely something that we need to try to do instead of outslugging somebody 10-8 and those types of games, which you saw a lot of from us last year. So adding the pitching, this is why we have 2 in this class with a righty and a lefty. Try to add depth to the pitchers, let them develop a little bit, and then try to blend older kids with younger kids. Next year, you'll have Julia as a junior, and you'll have one of our freshmen this year from Frisco, Texas, named Kendall Fritz as a sophomore. So you try to get them all through the classes so they can feed off each other. But pitching was a definite big focal point for us when I first got back as the head coach, and this will be the first class where you actually see our pitchers come in. Last year we were able to get Kendall late, our freshman this year, and she's had a fantastic fall. So we're really excited about Kendall, but this will be the first class that we've recruited from A to B as a staff. So we're really excited about adding those 2 pieces.